The Tactacam Solo Extreme is a gadget that I don't think I'm going to be using for what I thought I was going to be using it for. This is the Tactacam Solo Extreme, and when messing around with it, you get 7 different rings that fit onto different oculars. What I found was that when you use the different rings on the different scopes, then you also change the focus on where the Tactacam is mounted onto the scope. What I thought was when I purchased it, or when I got it, was that I just had to shove it all the way up toward the end of the scope here, of the ocular, and then put that on like so, and put this on like so, and I would be golden. What I found out was that I have to, of course, and that doesn't really surprise me a lot, but I had to adjust on the eye relief here, or on the eyepiece here, to make sure that this is also, it's just like a human eye. This needs to be in focus with the Tactacam for it to give you a decent picture through the scope. This was really difficult to do with the different scopes. I had to take the Tactacam on and off and on and off and on and off a lot of times, which actually made it so finicky and so annoying to work with that I just dropped it. So what I did instead was I set up my the camera I usually use to shoot with for whatever. I set that up behind the rifle so that it was filming through the rifle. That's also one of the reasons why I had a comment on, I think it was the Schmidt & Bender 5-45 PM2 high power, that there were guys on the range while I was filming. That's why I was filming while there were guys on the range. The scopes were mounted actually on this tripod without a rifle. It was just the scopes that were there. And that of course means that the camera, which is actually filming now, was about this far away from the scope, which is about the same distance away from the scope as a human eye needs to be, which in turn means that it could catch all of the reticle. It could see the entire piece of glass. That again means that it could catch the chromatic aberration, and in the Super Scope series there weren't really any of the scopes that have any chromatic aberration except for the Schmidt & Bender, and that is a 10-year-old scope, so a lot has happened since that was released. What I did see was that the Tactacam made a fake chromatic aberration through some kind of digital glitch, and that of course is a problem. I can't, and the plan was to film through the scopes with the Tactacam so that I could see exactly this, the chromatic aberration, and I could use it to zoom in and out and use it to work the turrets and do whatever. But when it was on there, it gave me such a small section of the reticle that I could actually see through the Tactacam, that it was not giving the right picture as to what was the reticle. On a positive note, it was actually quite good at following the zoom, and it was quite good at giving a good picture on the clicks. So if you were to use this on a hunting rifle, where you want to film shooting a buck or a coyote or a moose or a bear, whatever, then it would be great, because then you have it on one scope. Everything is set to spec, and it's fine. But when you're changing between different scopes, that kind of became a problem. Another problem, and one of the reasons I was very, very happy that I had a very heavy rifle, was that when you put this on, you still have the same eye relief behind the scope. So when I'm on the camera or on the rifle, this is my eye relief, and I'm about 10 millimeters away from the Tactacam. And if I did not have a super heavy rifle, this is not the rifle I was using at the time, and this is a different rifle. Never mind. This was the rifle I was using at the time. This is a 16-ish kilo rifle. It's got a bunch of weights in there, and it's got a big muzzle brake on there as well. And that's the only reason why I didn't smash up my eye or my forehead, because the rifle is going to jump, and when you're this close to your scope, that usually means that you get a small hello from the scope, and everybody's going to laugh at you because you were too close to your scope. That's a different video. Also, it means that the zoom on the scope, if you're running a throw lever, which I like to do on all my scopes because I like to be able to zoom quickly, especially on some of the scopes that have a very tight, tough zoom. This gets in the way because it comes behind the rifle. It's actually about 10 centimeters behind the scope, or in this direction of the scope toward the muzzle, and that of course means that it's in the way for your throw lever if you're running one of those, and that's also a little bit annoying. And especially with the Arkin scopes, they're quite tough on the zoom, especially when they're new. I haven't run them for so long that I know that they're not tough when they're not new. So, and that's something we'll be covering in the reasonably priced scope series for long range shooting. The Tactacam Solo Extreme, great for a hunting rifle if you want to document your hunts or your shooting, whatever's. Not so cool and not so good if you're running different scopes and different setups, which I was planning to do. Picture in the Tactacam was fine. It's got full HD capability, so it's not a bad picture that comes through the scope or through the Tactacam. It's just a shame that it cuts so much of the reticle out from the frame. It's easy to use. It's a two button setup, so you got a power on off switch and you got a mode setting. You download an app to your phone, and everything can be controlled through that app, which also works really well. It's well planned, it's well made, and it's the app is also well tailored to the Tactacam. So in that regards, I have no gripes at all. And in regards of using it for hunting, it's fine. It's actually more than fine. It's actually quite good. Other than the small annoyances that I covered a little bit before with the zoom, that's a little bit annoying to get to because it's in the way. And if you have it on this side, I wouldn't recommend that on a rifle where it's right-handed. Then it's in the way of your bolt handle, which also is annoying. And now where it's on this side, it's even more problematic with the with the placement, because now I'm even closer to this little thingy. That is very close to my eye right now, and to my forehead. That's less than a centimeter, and that of course is problematic. But you take your choice, and that's what you got to live with if you want to document your hunts, if you use the Tactacam Solo Extreme. So if you have any thoughts, any comments, any questions about it, feel free to to ask me those questions in the comment section. Alright, in conclusion, the Tactacam Solo Extreme is a gadget that I don't think I'm going to be using for what I thought I was going to be using it for. The reason I'm not going to be using it as in the way that I thought I was going to be using it is because of the problems that I've covered earlier. The zoom, it's in the way. The closeness of the reticle or of the house to my head, and also the fake chromatic aberration it creates around the edges, because it doesn't quite get all of the reticle or the glass in the front. And also it has kind of a weird digital glitch on the reticle, which is really annoying, but not annoying enough to it being a problem for a hunting rifle. It's really good for a hunting rifle, not for the different scopes that I'm going to be doing in the future and the work I'm going to be doing with that. I'm going to be doing that the way that you see I do it with the Collis, the Sight, the Spin Bender, and all the different scopes in the Super Scope series. I'm going to be doing again series on more budget-friendly scopes. This is one of them, the Arkin, and that's all I have about the Tactacam. I think that it's been good, but not for what I'm going to use it for. So that's all for now, and oh yeah, subscribe. That would yeah. Stay tuned and stay safe.